Hey, what's going on everybody? My name is Cruz and welcome back to another video. In this one, I'm going to answer some of your more interesting questions. Let's get it. Before we officially get started, I want to remind you all that I currently have a giveaway going on. This is my road to 3,000. We're going to be giving away the Soundstone Sustainer as soon as we hit 3,000 subscribers. If you want to know more about this sustainer and the giveaway and the details and all of the stuff you need to do to enter the giveaway, please check out the video that I'll link right up here. The video explains it all and all of its details, so make sure you check that video out to officially enter the giveaway for this product. All right, without further ado, let's get started. I took to Instagram and YouTube community, so I grabbed some of the more interesting questions that I got, so let's jump right into it. Question number one comes via Instagram from Rogelio Mendoza. Hope I said that correctly. He asked, hey bro, what do you think about customizing your telly with a normal Bigsby versus a Bigsby with a Vibramate? As you guys know, I love Bigsbys on my guitars. I put them on as many of my guitars that I possibly can. The Vibramate has been one of the most interesting pieces of gear that have been invented in a very long time, especially for those people who want the benefits of having a Bigsby but don't want to commit fully to having to drill that piece of metal onto their guitar. I've used both. I used to have this Les Paul that I love, but it was very sort of a rare guitar and I felt uncomfortable drilling into the face of it, so I used the Vibramate and it worked great. But here are my thoughts on this thing. When you decide to add a Bigsby to your guitar, the strings which normally are interacting with the body of the instrument are now separated ever so slightly. And the vibration, maybe even the amount of sustain that your guitar naturally has, might be affected by that. And the less that the Bigsby's actually connected to the guitar, in my opinion, in my own head, it feels like it affects that even more. The sustain, the tonality of the guitar, how the wood is interacting with the vibration of the strings. So when you have the Bigsby on top of a Vibramate, there is this sort of separation, in my opinion, that is sort of disconnecting the strings with the instrument and that vibration. It's not working like the way I would want it to work, the way it was meant to work. But again, the Vibramate is an amazing piece of gear, and if you're not ready to fully commit to a Bigsby, then that is 100% the best way to go. So it's totally up to you. My personal preference, no Vibramate, no plan B. Drill it right onto the guitar, especially a Telecaster. Moving right along, question number two comes via YouTube community from Cedric Wallace. Cedric asked me, have you tried reaching out to Flama to demo their FS07 cab simulator? Quick answer to that is yes, I have reached out to Flama, not just for the simulator, but for all of their products. Similarly to the deal that I set up with Joya, where they sent me a few of their products to review, and also with the understanding that they would more than likely end up on my series that I have on the channel called Cheap Pedals Suck. I'll link the playlist right up here. Obviously, that series is more meant to highlight inexpensive pedals, not to actually make fun of them. The title is very clickbaity. I will be the first to admit that. People comment that all the time under those videos, but it's meant to highlight them, and Flama knew that. However, the offer that they were making me, and more specifically with the representative that I was working with at that time, wasn't in alignment with the way that I like to do business here on the channel. And so we couldn't make a deal, and I decided to opt out of working with Flama at that moment. I do plan and do want to feature them on the channel, specifically on in that series, because I think that that's the series where I would like to highlight them the most. I'll let some time pass, I'll let the channel continue to grow, and then we'll reevaluate our position then. Moving on, question number three comes again via YouTube community, and that is from my boy Kevin from NTPL Worship. He asked, do you really miss that Nash T52? I feel like that was your best guitar. If not, what's your dream guitar if money wasn't an issue? I'm gonna address this because I actually have not addressed this yet on the channel. I believe that a part of what I built here on YouTube thus far has a lot to do with me utilizing a specific guitar, and it was my Nash T52. When I tell you that I love that guitar, it's an understatement. But in December of 2021, I did the unthinkable. I was looking at my finances. I was looking around and thinking, man, there's a lot of gear in here that could bring me a lot of money if I were to sell some of this stuff. So I decided to start listing pieces of gear to help with my finances. I immediately regretted that decision. That instrument was up for a very little bit of amount of time before it was sold, and it actually sold, I think, for more money than what I paid for it brand new. So yeah, It was an offer that I really couldn't refuse. Legitimately, I shed a tear when I packaged the guitar. I was like, why am I doing this? And I immediately thought to myself, I'll never do this again. But it's funny you asked me that secondary question, which was, if I were building my dream guitar, what would it look like? There are two things that I identified about the Nash T52 that I would change. Only two things. Number one, aesthetically. Believe it or not, though I love the traditional Telecaster, I'm not a major fan of the butterscotch with the black pickguard. Yeah, aesthetically, I would have changed it a little bit, but the major thing that I would have changed about the T52 was accessibility to the truss rod. The T52's truss rod adjustment is actually at the tail end of the neck, which means what? You got to take off the pickguard, you maybe disconnect the pickup, you have to take the neck off of the body, make the adjustments, put it back, and see if it's working the way it should be. So I prefer to have access at the top of the headstock. But why would I know that? Why would I have thought about that? Is there a possibility that for the last year now, there has been a guitar that I've been working on, that maybe there may be a replacement Telecaster on the way? I don't know. It may all make sense soon enough. Stay tuned. Let's move on to the next question here. This actually is a frequently asked question, and I pulled this one from, forgive me if I say your name wrong, Sander Dragson, who asked me this question in a video. What pedals do you use in that video, and do you have cheaper alternatives? First, let's identify what contributes to my sound. For compression, I use the Jackson Audio Bloom, and then for overdrives, all of my overdrives, in fact, I use the Jackson Audio Broken Arrow. So let's talk about some of the alternatives that I would use that are a little bit more affordable. Compression, I go back to the compressor that originally sort of got me into compression, and that is the Dynacomp. I really think it sounds amazing. Yes, you're sacrificing a little bit. It doesn't have any EQ options. It doesn't have a blend knob. It's a very, very simplistic compression, but I think the sweet spot is fantastic. As far as overdrives, well, that gets tricky. The overdrive that I currently use, though, it's only one pedal. It covers a lot of ground for me. First stage, second stage, third stage, and solo sound. I'll tell you exactly what I would use if I had to choose more affordable options right here, right now. The first pedal being the Joyo Kings of Kings. It has two sides, and you can make one a lighter side and a more heavier side, therefore having a first and second stage, and they're stackable, so that means that you could have a third stage by stacking them both together. Then I would throw in there the Ibanez Tube Screamer Mini. That could easily be a fourth stage by itself, or you can have all three on to make it a fourth stage solo sound. And that covers everything that I would personally need, especially with the Tube Screamer, because it will add that mid-range hump that I would like to have when I'm trying to cut through a mix in the solo. Then as far as delays and reverb, well, delay pedal, I always recommend the Boss DD5. I know it's a digital delay, and I tend to like tape delays. However, it's one of the better digital delays in my opinion. It has this tone that I absolutely love. And for reverb, we're going to go right back to Joyo, the Joyo Atmosphere. I can't recommend it enough. It has a ton of reverbs that you could ever need and ever would want, to be honest with you. The only issue with that pedal is that though you have access to a bunch of different sounds, you don't have access to them on the fly. However, the pedal is so affordable, you could easily buy two of them and still not spend nearly what you would spend on a more notable reverb pedal. And lastly, the last question comes from Mike B on YouTube community. He says, that tiger stripe pickguard, I need that fire emojis. Well, I happen to agree with you, Mike. I love this pickguard as well. I've actually had it on this guitar for a very, very long time. So I will try my best to locate a link and put it in the description box below, because I'm pretty sure that I bought this from like Amazon. It's not like a, one of those exclusive pickguards. Sometimes it looks like a tiger thing print to me. Sometimes it looks like wood grain. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it sometimes. Some days it looks more orange, and yeah, I don't know. It plays with my eyes sometimes, but I do love it, and it's been on this guitar for so long that now I can't picture it without it. Well, everyone, that wraps up this version of FAQ. Thank you so much for participating. Don't forget, you could still enter the giveaway to win the Soundstone Sustainer. I'll put a link in the description box below that links you to the video that explains everything. While you're down there, please do all the things that do help this channel grow. The whole giveaway is meant to grow the channel to get past 3,000 subscribers. I'd love to do it before the year ends. So like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Leave a comment in the comment section, that helps with the algorithm. If you want to check out some of the affiliate links that I have in the description box below, that will help the channel out financially as well. You can also donate to the channel directly by clicking the thanks feature that YouTube now includes in all of my videos. Thanks so much for watching, and until next week.